you get sent stuff from us weekly,
Right.
and you roll up and it's everything from a half-acre lot to, someone bought a whole municipality.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And just kind of like you pull on the job, walk through that process.
Yeah, so basically what we do is we go meet with the site manager, we meet with the client, and they always kind of say to me, hey, what do you think? Where do you think the best place is? And my response to that is always, listen, this is your house, this is your dream. I want to make sure that that you get what you want in the end. So we take their wants and needs into consideration, and then I kind of say, hey, if we're doing this, you're going to need a lot more dirt, as opposed to if we move it back 20 feet or move it forward 20 feet and to the left 20 feet, you're not going to need as much dirt. Budget is always a big thing. Like you said, we can do pretty much anything. We can build it however you want it. But they have to be able to say, okay, yeah, we're willing to build on a stem wall, or as opposed to a basement. Obviously you guys, your bread and butter is the mono slabs. Yep. And like you said, man, these people, they buy their land and they're jacked up about it, and they've got that emotional peak, and you just want to set the standard with them of, we can do this here, we can do it here. Here's some things to think about. Like you said, driveways, if they want it all the way in the back, stone ain't cheap. So that's all of that stuff is things that we have to play into, and look at going into it. That way, when they've closed on their loan, there's not this giant surprise of, hey, we're going to have 100 loads of dirt brought in here to build your pad up. So if we get that on the front end, it makes it a lot easier to deal with and make it a smooth process from loan closing all the way to, hey, here's your keys to your new home. So yeah, it's definitely an important part of the phase. And I tell people all the time, listen, I know you don't want to spend, $10, $15, $20,000 on dirt. I get it, but this is the foundation of your home. And this is the most important part of your build. So it's good that you guys make that a priority up front to start the process of figuring out, hey, what's it going to cost? What are some of the challenges we're going to look at, and some of the things we're going to face, and what's the easiest and most favorable thought process of overcoming those things?
Yeah, well, we don't even send them into design
for sure.
We've had those conversations now, because we know what they want,
right?
And so we give you those parameters. But when you go out there and start figuring it out, and we learn, hey, because there are times that we've had clients shelling out $100,000.
Oh yeah,
for pre-construction, and maybe it's not all encompassing there,
right?
But there, there's so many different variables to this. If we know, and we go to them and say, look, they're like, man, this is more than we thought it was going to be. Cool. How do we adjust so that we can get you something? Because you still got to have a house, right? So how do we do that? So we can reverse engineer if we have all the details,
right?
And that's the whole thing for us is like what we build better than anybody, I believe.
100%.
But I think there is an intentional effort now of, I want you to have a better experience than anything. I know, regardless of what size house we build you, it's going to be built to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
We have really dialed in the process. Do we still make mistakes? Absolutely we do. But overall, when it comes to building a turnkey barndominium, we have a rock solid process of how we do it.
Right.
But just knowing those things up front, and especially in the rural areas, which is where we are. I had a friend of mine in California. We were talking through some stuff, and he was like, "You guys building the exurbs?" And I was like, "The exurbs?" He's like, "Yeah, you don't use that term?" And I'm like, "That's got to be some California talk."
Man.
And he's like, "You got the city, then you got the suburbs, and then beyond that's the exurbs." And I was like, me and you can say exurbs, but people around here don't know what that means.
We call it sticks.
Yeah, we into sticks.
The boondocks.
Yeah, and so Like we roll up in the sticks, like there's a lot of variables.